So Geekmaster, who I did recently subscribe to, did a video where he talked about the Genesis wave, both the regular Genesis wave and the Super Genesis wave. He talked about how one Chaos Emerald in the story caused the first Genesis wave, which resulted in an homage four-part story arc to both early Sonic games 1 and 2, and then of course, as a result, led us into one of the more controversial story arcs that they've ever done, that of course being the Mecha Sally arc. Now, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, he also talked about the Super Genesis wave and how that consisted of 7 Chaos Emeralds, and how that was meant by Eggman and by extension Wily of the Mega Man series to try to basically rewrite reality in their image. And we all know what came of that. You know, with Eggman crashing into Sonic, not wanting to accept defeat again after all the planning he went through to try to get things his way. You know, you have to wonder what would have happened. You have to wonder what would be the result after that, because one of the primary plot points for a bit was the fact that after everybody got their memories back of the old world thanks to touching Nicole, because a lot of the Genesis wave, well, some of it got absorbed into her, and she was basically the Deus Ex Machina, if you will, the key to restoring it, like I kind of predicted before it even occurred and all that. You have to wonder how long the memories of that they got back, they got restored to them. How long would they lasted and everything? Because we know that, again, that being one of the plot points, there were various issues where they were kind of showing that the memories were still there, but they were slowly fading away or being elapsed by memories that were identical to the old ones that they had from the old world, now being part of the new world. Basically, the memories that were identical were elapsing the old ones. So you have to ask yourself how long the memories would have lasted. We know that, after the Return of the Freedom Fighters arc, we had Sally basically in 258 get overwhelmed and basically take on the responsibility, or at least say that it's her responsibility to take on, the burden for her to take on, because, she regretted what she did in the old world as Mecha Sally. And, you have Nicole step in and say, no, you're not going to do this now. You are Sally of this world. You're the Sally of this world that inspired Lupe, inspired Dulcie, and everything. And she even acknowledged, yes, we're still all wheeling from the dual memories, but you need to be the Sally that inspired people. And then you even have Cream step in and be like, look, I know you have these bad memories from another place, but, be known that you're not alone in this, that we're all here to help you. And I like how they kind of wrote Cream in that moment, because even though she didn't get affected by it, because I guess she's a young character, she has that understanding of, that all of a sudden all her friends, have these memories that are like nightmares just haunting them from a different world, a different place. But, she knows that she has to be there to support them and everything to get them through it. She has to help them out. Now, again, getting back to this, like I said, for several issues after that, and even into Universe, we had I guess you could say we had the notion that the memories of the old world were getting lapsed over by the memories that were identical to those old memories, in the new world. Basically, the new world memories were lapsing over the memories that basically were the same but a bit different from the old world, thus replacing them. But you have to really wonder to yourself how long that would have lasted. Was it just going to be for a short term? Was Ian going to bring it up later on and everything? You have to really wonder that. And to me, I think had nothing really happened behind the scenes, legally, I think if the comic would have continued, we would have probably had some kind of resolution. I really do. I really do. I think we would have had some kind of resolution to where if he was planning to have one of those final confrontations with Eggman, well, at least a final confrontation that would put Eggman on the sideline for some time and then make room for new characters to be introduced, new villains and all that. You have to wonder, basically if in a final confrontation with Eggman, maybe in 300, 325 or whatever, if basically the memories would have came back of the old world, and mostly like with Sally, it would have caused her to want to maybe finally off Eggman for what he made her do. You have to wonder. You have to wonder how long they would have been. Because to me, and I think I've mentioned this before, I think it would have been really interesting to see maybe, maybe to see them have this kind of final confrontation with Eggman, or as I put it, basically a final confrontation that puts them on the sideline, like 200 did, if you will, for at least a year or two, or at least a year or so. You have to wonder. You have to, really wonder how it would have affected Sally, because as I mentioned, I talked about this before, that if the memories would still be there, you can only imagine Sally basically getting right in Eggman's face and just using her blades to want to really just finally be done with this guy because of what he did or what he made her do and such. It would have been really interesting to see things like that, as well as even, because here's what I'm thinking they could have done. And maybe Ian was thinking about this, but then of course everything, went south the way it did behind the scenes. To me, this is what I think Ian could have done, and maybe he was planning to do it. I think honestly, he could have probably had Nicole, at least the Freedom Fighters, broadcast, maybe with the help of the Emeralds or something like that, Master Emerald or the Chaos Emeralds, whatever. He could have probably had Nicole broadcast memories of the old world to all of Mobius, to where they could see it, and then realize, like even, Eggman's army, that he has in this new world, would see it and be like, wait a minute, this guy tried to do this to the world? Not once, but twice? This is the guy we're following? This guy's a nut. This guy's crazy. So yeah, you have to wonder if maybe that would have been something as well, to where the old memories would have been, or what was left of them, would have been broadcast to the entire world to everyone in the new world in some ways, to where even, like I said, the Egg Army leaders, the Egg bosses, if you will, would be like, yeah, Eggman, you're nuts, you're out of your mind, we ain't working for you anymore because you want to try to wipe out reality because you can't accept the fact you'll never win? Screw you. Basically do a story to where mainly he's like, except for Allbot and Qbot, he's left with nothing. He's left with nothing, if you will. But yeah, I'm thinking something like that would have been unique to see and everything, even in a final confrontation situation that's similar to 200 maybe, kind of revisit that a little bit, but mainly have Eggman be like, you know what, I'm not going to lose it like I did too, or like I did before. I'm not going to lose it. I'm going to go off for a while. I'm going to take off. I'm going to leave for a while, recollect myself. And you could do that too. You can have him basically take what's left of his sanity, go with Allbot and Qbot, if you will, and basically take an emergency leave to try to regain his sanity back, try to calm himself. And then, like I said, you could open up the door for newer stories, like newer villains and stuff, I mean, the possibility would have been, as I mentioned before, endless to see. It would have been. But that all depends on, like I said, how long he would have had the storyline, the little plot line of, the Freedom Fighters, having their, old memories still around, for a certain amount of time. But what do you guys think? I know I may have sounded like I rambled here. I do apologize. But let me know what your thoughts are. How do you feel about this? Do you think honestly that, maybe perhaps, that's something that Ian could have looked into? What are your thoughts? Comment down below, live chat during the premiere, like the video. You will get an audio podcast of the version of this at BW Roses Discussions at all your favorite audio podcast locations except for Pandora. Click on the upper left-hand corner of the screen to check out my Teespring store. And until next time, guys, give me your thoughts down below and in the live chat. Again, I know I sound like I rambled here, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on it. Like, how far do you think how long do you think you would have kept the story, the plot line of the Freedom Fighters having the old memories merged with the new memories, kind of like a dual situation to where, eventually the new ones were going to overlap the old? How long do you think that would have been? And do you think if he would have kept it going, for quite longer, do you think maybe it would have played a pivotal role in a possible final confrontation arc, or at least a confrontation arc similar to 200 with Eggman, and where mainly Sally uses those memories of what he made her do to try to want to off him once and for all? Or do you think maybe you would have had maybe the freedom fighters through Nicole use the 7 emeralds or the Master Emerald or something to broadcast the old memories of the old world to the new world, to show them, mostly, like, let's say the Eggman army, exactly what kind of person Eggman really is? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the live chat, as well as in the comments down below. And until next time, I'll talk to y'all later.